My name is Thomas. In our last episode, we learned why Bill didn't say anything to his staff about the phone call with headquarters.
Bill, do not repeat this conversation to anyone.
But not saying anything at all is only making things worse.
I'm sorry. I'm not at liberty to say what we talked about.
Let's listen into the conversation after Bill calls Kimberly to his office.
Kimberly, why are you crying?
Because you're going to have to let me go.
Now where did you get a crazy idea like that? I wanted to talk with you about our progress with that additional marketing campaign. We could really use the revenue now. Are we almost set to launch?
The additional marketing campaign? You want to know about the additional marketing campaign?
Yes, the additional marketing campaign. Kimberly, please stop crying. I'm not going to let you go.
But you might get angry when I tell you that we put it on hold, pending the budget cuts.
Budget cuts? What budget cuts? I never said anything about budget cuts.
Well, when you didn't say anything about your call with headquarters, we just assumed.
Wait a minute. We? Are there other people who think we're having budget cuts, too?
Oh yes. Everybody knows about the budget cuts. Everyone, that is, except you.
That's why nothing is getting done. We've got to correct this. What can we do?
Unless you can tell us what you talked about on the call with headquarters, I'm not sure that you can do anything.
Bill calls an emergency staff meeting. It looks to me like it's time for some open and honest communication.
I want to thank you all for coming together on such short notice because this is very important. It seems we've had a breakdown in communication, and that's mostly my fault. I was asked not to discuss what we talked about on the phone call with headquarters, and I promised that I wouldn't. But I didn't realize that, by not saying anything at all, I was creating an even bigger problem. So here's what I should have said. I just got off a phone call with headquarters, and I've been asked not to share what we discussed with anyone. I don't like to do that, but I promised that I would. What I can tell you is that some divisions are being forced to cut their budgets, but we're not one of those divisions. And what we discussed on the call could potentially mean very good news for our division. I'm afraid that's all I can say, and I'm sorry I didn't say it before.
Oh Bill, that's great news. We're not concerned about the other matter you discussed on the call. All we wanted to know is if we were going to have to cut our budget.
Well, Bill, you can't take all the blame. We knew something was wrong, and we pretended not to notice.
If we had told you it was the budget cuts we were concerned about, you could have answered our question then, and without compromising the promise you made on the call.
I think we've all learned something, and I hope that going forward, we can have open and honest communication with one another, so this doesn't happen again.
Absolutely, Bill. You wouldn't believe some of the stories that people were making up.
Well, it looks like we have a happy ending, after all, and that everyone learned a valuable lesson. Remember that in work relationships, we have two choices. We can tell people how we are really feeling, or we can let them make it up. If we don't tell them, they will make it up. It's just human nature. Unfortunately, things aren't quite this happy at the Western Division of Global Enterprises. Lynette, the new customer service manager, keeps hitting roadblocks every time she tries to make a change in her department. We hope you'll join us for our next episode of All My Office.